Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I have some fun DIYs for you today. We're doing more of a modern farmhouse DIY. I kind of left these out for a while, so I thought I would go ahead and do some more because it may not be your style, but it's definitely somebody else's, or you could spookify it up if you need to. Make sure to do all the YouTubey things, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And thank you again for being here. So these are just wood cutouts from the Dollar Tree. You could find these in the Dollar Tree right now. And I picked out a ghost, a cat, and some witches' hats, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint them. So I'm going to do Modern Farmhouse is very just black and white, um, black and white, light distressing. I used to do a lot of Farmhouse and a lot of Modern Farmhouse, but I took all of it down in my house. So I do more of what is in my house currently, but I just want to make sure that I have something for everybody and their style of house that they do. I'm thinking about doing a glam Halloween DIY next, or just glam in general. It's not my, it's definitely not my comfort zone, but I thought I'd give it a try. So make sure you put comment down below if you would like to see some kind of a glammed out Halloween. But so I'm just using white acrylic paint and black chalkboard paint from the Dollar Tree here. And so I just paint these all up, and we're going to make a cute little garland out of these. So definitely these little wood cutouts can be done in so many different things, and they're so adorable. And if you don't like the little hole in his head, like if you're not going to make a garland out of him, like if you wanted to make, like wall decor or something, you could just use a little wood filler and fill in the hole, and it will just disappear. So I love the black cats. They're so cute. They're my favorite part. And of course, I love the ghosties. Ghosties for the mosties. So now that these are all painted, I'm just going to kind of distress them down a little bit. It doesn't really show up a lot because the color was, it's white paint on a very light background. But if you wanted to enhance it, you can always dry brush around the edges there, or you could have stained the wood prior to painting them. And again, my big trick for staining is brown acrylic paint with water mixed in, and you don't have the smell, and the dry time is so much faster. And I just thought I'd add some little squiggles here to give it more of a little bit of a cartoony look. So we're doing fun, lighthearted Halloween here. And but you could definitely do whatever style is fun for you. These beads I picked up on Amazon a long time ago, but I know that they still carry them, and if I remember, I will link them in the description box down below. And then this is just some jute twine from the Dollar Tree here. And I just cut it to the length that I thought was going to work. Found a little container to dump my beads in, and here we go. My trick to feeding the beads on to the jute twine is you just get a piece of Scotch tape and wrap it around the edge. It almost makes it like a little needle so that you could go ahead and put it through the little beads there. And I'm just going to use the black and the orange, and then the buffalo print. Even though I don't do farmhouse in my house anymore, like I love buffalo print. I do have a little weakness for it. I think it's so cute, and it goes with just about everything. My Halloween pillows still are buffalo print, but definitely they have these beads, and they have like purple and the orange and the black and the white. And but yeah, they do have these beads at the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square corner. You can go ahead and I put mine on a skewer stick and paint them that way. So you don't have to buy, you know, just this color of bead if you're not going to do a lot of things here with the beads and use them all up. So I am just feeding it on and then putting a ghost and then double tying a little knot above it. If you want it to hang a little different, so I'm going to go through the back here, pull it through, and then tie the first initial knot. And that's just securing it in between the beads, and then the previous little cutout. And then if when you tie the second knot, it kind of gives it, it hangs down just a little bit so that you do have, the loose hang on the string. In the past, I've also um, used a piece of jute twine and made a loop through the hole, like a single loop. Oh my gosh, it's hard to explain when you're not looking at it. But I've done it so where there's just like a loop, like you can individually hang them like an ornament, and then I just feed them through the string. So you could do that if you don't want to do this either. But I love the double knot method. You get the initial holding it in the spot, and then see how it just perfectly hangs down right there. It's just right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the 3 beads in between each one of my little wood cutouts here and repeat the same process over and over again until I have my garland. You could do little pom-poms. You can add tassels to this. The possibilities are endless with garland, and so many different styles for so many different types of decor that people have in their homes. But I did wanted to give, an homage to my originally how I started, which was a lot of farmhouse goodies, and make sure that everybody gets a little bit of what they're looking for. So I just continue on here until I have used up all my little wood cutouts. So this is definitely a therapeutic activity. I just love, putting stuff like this together. And here it is hanging up in my kitchen. This is where I post all my stuff that I do, and you're going to see some of the stuff that we're going to be working on. And then that skeleton, like archway in the background, is from the Dollar General. Go out and run and get one now because I know that they're not going to last, and it is so cute. So this is just one of those white foam pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. And I just pulled off the stem here because we're just going to use it as a base for like a little tray. So I know it's already white, but I wanted to go ahead and put a white coat of paint down so that the rest of the layers of the paint that I'm going to do here have something to adhere to. So this is just French linen from the newer paint from Walmart. So I guess some Walmarts just sell this paint and some of them sell the Waverly paint. But you can use any paints that you like. I love chalk paint, especially in my farmhouse goodies. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump some on there and go all the way around here. And this is just going to be a multiple like layered colored pumpkin. I'm trying to stay very neutral so that it matches any farmhouse decor. And then this is Hazelnut by Waverly. So I just started off with a base of white. Then I added that real tan, like light tan French linen. And then I'm adding a little bit of a more of like a mustardy um, tan color. And I'm just going to go around and paint the whole thing here. And then I took my paper towel here and I'm just blotting off some of the excess paint here to kind of give it look like a little bit of a speckled look on the bottom, if that makes sense here. I know this is really sped up, but there was a lot of footage of me doing this pumpkin because when I'm mixing colors and adding depth and dimension something that has no depth and dimension, I tend to take forever to do it. I didn't want to leave too much of it out just so you can see the process, or you could just simply paint it one color and call it good. You could have just left it the foamy white, whatever you want to do, whatever makes your little eyes happy, you do that. So this is just a little bit of black paint, and I'm going to go into the little areas, the indents in the pumpkin that make them pumpkin shaped. And I just shoved a brush right through the top of the pumpkin so that I didn't hold it in the wet paint. And the biggest direction here to give you is when you're adding paint like this, you want the bottom layer to still be wet. Not like super wet like you just put it on, but definitely have some moisture still left to it because it helps spread out the next color that you're putting on um, evenly. And so I just go back and forth between the hazelnut and the white and the black, and I, dab it off a little bit. You can spray paint these pumpkins, but foam and spray paint are not best friends, and it will do something funky to your pumpkin. You can definitely pull back further when you're spray painting and do very light coats, and you could do it that way. But honestly, I love, if you've followed me for any extent of time, I love depth, dimension, texture. That is my jam. So this is how I add some realistic look to something that is so white and foamy and give it a new life here. So I am just going through with, the different colors that I'm using and blending them in wherever it needs to be blended. And again, like I've said many times before, you do this until you like it. So if you want to stop at one color, stop at one color. If you want to paint this, you know, um, two colors, do that. Three colors, four colors, do it up. Because the more that you add and the more that you blend, the more realistic this pumpkin is going to look here. And and I just love it. I had my show on and I just go for it. And I think it looks so cute. So now that it is all dry and good to go, this is just one of those mirrors from the Dollar Tree. They have two different sizes. Um, Going back looking at it now, I wish I would have used the smaller size, but I just grabbed one and this is the one that I happen to use. I do have both sizes. When you see both sizes, snatch them up because can use them for so many different projects, which I have. If you go back and look in my videos, you've seen that I've used these mirrors several times, and I just love them. And so, again, hot glue on a foam pumpkin is a strange battle, but we're going to make it work here because you could see it like bubbling up, eating the paint, eating the pumpkin, but there's something great about that because it adheres to whatever that you're putting it to really, really well. So I put it on the bottom of this mirror here, and I was just wiggling it around to make sure that it is in the center. And then I'm going to add some hot glue around just to kind of seal it all the way in there. And then we're going to go ahead and paint the top of the mirror here. I'm just doing the frame of the mirror, and you can easily pop the mirror out, take it outside and spray paint it if you don't want to hand paint it. But I was not feeling to go outside and spray paint anything. So I just used my white chalk paint to cover up the black on this mirror. So I just go all the way around here, and if you get a little on the mirror, it's no big deal. It comes off pretty smoothly, and just with like a little bleach wipe or some Windex, or I just used paper towel and water, and just go all around and coat the frame. So if you like the black, just leave it. I I definitely wanted to not leave the plasticky black look. Um, you could even do just like a matte black on top of the plastic black. And then I'm just going to take my little sanding block here and I'm going to distress it down a little bit so you can see the black underneath. Super easy. Like you don't even really have to work for it because that's the great thing about chalk paint. There are tons of recipes for, make at home chalk paint, which I have done many times in the past. And so now that that is all done and I clean the mirror, I'm going to add a little bit of moss because, I have a soft spot in the world for moss. And this is the Spanish moss from the Dollar Tree. And it's got that darker color. The lighting is off because at this point I lost my natural daylight and I was into the darkness. And so I was using the light inside my house, which, my house is always a cave. I swear it's so dark in my house. The way they design these houses that I live in, they're almost like, I don't know, bigger apartments. That's what it feels like. Like they just didn't think it through when it came to natural light and enough windows in a house. So, um yeah, so it's always dark in my house. But um I'm just putting some moss all around where I joined the mirror and the pumpkin together. If you're worried about it toppling over, you saw how I had hole in the top from where I had stuck my paintbrush through. You can always drop some little rocks in there. And this is it, a cute little picture. And the eyeball on there is also from the Dollar General, where I picked up my little skeleton wall. Very farmhouse, but super cute. I just love it. So we're going to take a pumpkin from the Dollar Tree. They always have these. They're just their, wood cutouts. Throughout the years, they look a little bit different, but I love that they have these blank slates for you to work with. And I am just going to go ahead and paint it, you guessed it, white. And we're going to do a little sanding here. And so I just sanded it down smooth because, I make a lot of lumps and bumps sometimes when I'm painting in a hurry. And then I'm taking my little squatty brush and some black chalk paint, and I'm just going to go around the edges lightly and give it a little bit of distressing and a little extra added dimension here. And I am, you can go all over the pumpkin if you like. You could just go around the edges. Again, up to your preference, with what you like there. And again, dry brushing is just putting the paint on the brush, dabbing off the excess, and just kind of wiping on what's left over. And it adds so much cuteness to a lot of different things here. And then this little thing came from one of oh my goodness, the Target dollar spots. It was either last year or the year before. This is old. There are so many ways that you could do this. The Dollar Tree has um, the poster board letters, which is a great way to do this. You can handwrite it on. If you have a Cricut, you could cut it out. You can, get a stencil that says it. There's so many different ways to put boo on, but I have had this for a while and definitely wanted to use it, and I thought it was so cute. So we're just gonna put a little boo. Mine's a little off-centered, but that's okay because I'm a little off-centered. But uh, I could have measured it out and drawn a line and figured exactly where it was gonna go. And the best way I've done this in the past is actually put depending on how long your word is, you could have put the middle letters in first and you would have had a better, um, more evenly onto the pumpkin. But, this is just for my house and I still think it's super cute. So now that we have the boo on there, we're going to add some detail. So these are just those little picks that I got from the Dollar Tree. Mine are from last year, but I did see similar ones to these, if not the exact same ones this year. Just because I am trying to use up my craft stash doesn't mean that I don't go into the Dollar Tree and check things out. And I've bought actually way more than I should have of the new stuff. And the Dollar Tree it does not disappoint. It just is the place to go. So these are just little greenery picks that I pulled off a stem that I had in my stash. You can use any kind. They have these very similar to this at the Dollar Tree. These might even be from the Dollar Tree from years past, but um, just go to the greenery section, look in the Halloween aisle. Um, for stuff to add to your projects here. And then this is just some of their I call it like their snowy tool. And it's in those little rolls. They have it with like the mesh, and then there's this, and they have those there. And I am just going to make a little bow out of this because I know that Modern Farmhouse is black and white, but I just couldn't do it. I could not leave a project without adding some kind of color to it. So I am just cut it into strips, used a little string to tie it in the middle, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim it down to the size that fits in the empty space that we have from where we put all our picks and our greenery, because you don't want to look at that. So you want to have a little something. So if you want to stay true to the black and white, you could definitely use, black and white ribbon and make a little bow. I am bow challenged. I don't ever make cute bows. I just don't know why I can't do it. I've watched tutorials, I've done all the stuff, but my bows never turn out that cute. So I have found that laying out fabric, tying it in the middle there, and just kind of messing with it has been the best option for me here. So this little bow is so cute with just a little bit of color. And I'm just going to go ahead and tap that right in the middle there. And then, I was looking at it and I thought maybe it was still just a little too big. So that's the best part, is that you start big and work your way down, because you can always take away, but you cannot add back at this point. So I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue it right onto my project here after I finish fluffing it, so it looks like a pretty little happy bow. So this is just such a cute, simple, and easy project. I put jute string right back in the hole and hung it on the wall. You can make it stand up by using tumbling tower blocks. However you want to do it, I think it came out super cute. So these are just the canvases from the Dollar Tree. They have these all year round, and in the past I have done so many projects with these, and so I thought I would show you my favorite reversed canvas. So you're just going to cut off the fabric from the back. You can pull out the staples if you want. No one's going to see the back. So I just saved myself the trouble there. And so I just used my little box cutter and cut off the fabric off of the canvas fabric off of the back of the frame. And then I flipped it around and I adhered it to the back of the frame, if that makes sense. So I laid it down. I don't know what happened to my footage. I lost it, or I wasn't recording, one of those things, but I just take the canvas off, lay it down on the table, and adhere it to the back side of the frame, and then you won't see the staples or anything else that's going on. I stapled mine back on, but you can always hot glue it, which I've done, and I have in my laundry room, which is in my garage and is super hot, and they are still kicking, and they've been in there for like 5 years. So hot glue canvas, so good. So I took a little bit of my Waverly Antique Wax, and then I stained around the frame right here. It gives it just more. It takes a $1.25 canvas and elevates it to a next level when you do this to it. So if you saw my Temu haul, I got 5 packages of these itty bitty teeny tiny bats. This is my it tells you to this is my advice to tell you to always read the description so you know how big something is going to be. So they were so small, and they weren't going to go on my wall like I normally do. I put bats going up in my kitchen and on the wall and all that good stuff. And so we're going to do a little canvas art decor with these. And I have seen a bunch of these, in on the internet when I was looking around for Halloween decor, and they're so expensive. And so this cost me $2, because it was like $1.25 for the frame, which we altered and made it look like we want it to look. And then the bats were probably like 75 cents, if not even that. So this is them together here. So I ended up making 2. I was going to do 4 and make it look like a window, but I wanted to do something just a little bit different. And so I make it look like because there's 3 different sizes, the small, medium, and large. And I just kind of make them look like they're uh, coming out of a cave or flying up into the night sky, whatever you want to call it here. And I just played with them until I liked it. And the best part about the canvas is there were times where they were on there and I didn't like it, and I just pulled them off and re-glued them back on. If you can, set your glue gun to a lower setting, because these little bats just like melted with the hot glue. So but that's okay, because I had 5 packages of them, so it was okay. So I ruined a couple, but that's okay. And so I just picked an area where I thought it looked like they were all coming from the bottom, going up to the top there. And then I'm going to glue my wood frames together here. And you can just put a little hanger on the back and hang this right on a wall. And I think it came out really cute. I love bats. I think bats are adorable. And a funny story, when my son was small, we were watching some nature show, and there was like, you know, real life bats in the show, and he looked over at us and said, wait a minute, so bats are real? Like, he just thought that, like, they were just in movies and cartoons, and was just fascinated with the fact that bats were real. So that is forever an inside joke in our house, and I just thought I would share it with you. So here it is, just leaning on the wall. You get a peek of our next project there, but I think it came out so cute. Let me know if you're going to recreate something like this, and you can make this as big or small as you want. So this is just another canvas and the face of a Dollar Tree skull. So I took it outside, I spray painted it white, and I just cut the back of his cranium off, and I am going to glue this onto my canvas here. So I have seen very spooky versions of this, but I wanted to make a cute little fun version of this that would make, look adorable on any wall and in any decor. You could just lean it like I'm probably going to do, but just definitely cute, easy, cheap, inexpensive Halloween decor. And I just went ahead and went around with the hot glue again, and just to kind of seal it on there. The one thing I love the most about canvas is it takes hot glue like no other. Once you put something on it, it's not coming off. I could shake this around, throw it around, and it would not pop off that canvas. I love it. So I just took a little sanding block and I just brought some of the details out from underneath. And then I realized when I was looking at it that when I spray painted it, I didn't get his underneath of his jaw. And then there was a couple areas that I wanted to add just a little bit more to give him some depth, even though he's just a white skull. I just wanted to give him a little bit more, because you know me, I love more. And so I'm going around the glue and painting that as well, so it just melds in with the background. And then I'm going to go ahead and give the whole canvas a quick coat of the white chalk paint. You can't even see it go on, but it just makes sure that the color from the skull and the canvas meld in perfectly together. And then again, Amanda Project wouldn't be an Amanda Project without moss. And so I am just using the reindeer moss on this, and then I'm going to add Spanish moss as well. And this is the fun creative part. You do as little or as much as you want here. And I just thought this is a cross between my style and Farmhouse, mixing them together. So I stayed with the basic white here, but I had to add the moss, which I love that cottagey, look to him. And it's just a fun way to do it. You could do this in a set of 3, would be really awesome hanging on a wall. And I just played with it until I thought he had enough moss on him, and mixed the colors of the moss. That's the best part, is that the Dollar Tree has the 2 different colors of moss, the reindeer moss, which is this bright, vibrant green, and then we're going to mix in the Spanish moss, which is that brownish, more dead looking moss. So, yeah, so definitely go ahead and play with this, and, do whatever you want to do here. You can add some mushrooms if you want, or some pine cones, or some, um, I don't know, possibilities are endless. You could do whatever you want here. I left his eye sockets white as well, because it went with the very smooth transition look here. But I think this came out really cute. I You could build a little frame around it to give it more of a finished look. So, definitely do, whatever makes your little heart happy when it comes to your little skull face canvas. Yeah, I think, yes, definitely. I love it. So, this is what I did over my Labor Day weekend, is I crafted some stuff. I binge watched my show that I'm watching and just hung out with my family. And let me know down below what you did for your Labor Day weekend. If you had to work, if you didn't have to work. I worked many, 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 many years in retail, so I normally didn't get an entire weekend off like this. But because I work for a school district, I got to enjoy my 3-day weekend. Finally feeling better. I was super sick all last week. Oh, and I added a spider. I had to add something. So for me, it was the spider. This spider came from the Dollar Tree, and I hope you guys loved all these DIYs that I had here for you today. Definitely leave me a comment below and let me know what style of DIY is your favorite. And thank you for being here, and I will see you again in the next one.